Well, welcome everyone. It's Rob. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you please type the number 1 in the chat box in that comment section to let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. There you go, Jeff. Erica, how are you? 1.618. Here we go. And Susan, a lot of them go by fast, guys. I can't catch them all. I do appreciate it though. Afternoon, John. Hey, Jim. Good afternoon. Barry, Jim, Daniel. Excellent. Let me get my screen shared here. I was in plenty of time, but Zoom decided today was an update day. That it was going to update my system, my Zoom, without giving me a choice. So I was kind of stuck. So sorry for being ever so slightly tardy. All right, let me go ahead and get my camera on as well. One day we'll make it where all you have to be on camera too. That'd be fun. Let's see. There we go. All right. Perfect. Where's the pop-up? There we go. Okay. My window is down. Hey, everybody. Still in vacay mode, baby. Just loving it. We just got back last week. We went away for my wife's birthday. Just chilling and enjoying it in Florida. We had a phenomenal time down there. I only got in trouble twice, which was good. And that was because I took my computer out. She was sleeping the one time. But I took my computer out to look at the market. And that was no. She did not like it. I had a promise we weren't going to do that while we were down there. It was tough, man. It was tough. But otherwise than that, I was a good boy. I didn't really get in trouble. So that was very good. As we get started here, keep in mind everything we look at is for educational purposes. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something you like today, anything, it doesn't matter what it is, a candidate is set up, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance before ever taking on that trade, setup, or indicator. You know, I wrote one of the chapters of my book that I'm coming out with this. Don't ask me when because I can't give you a date. But I wrote it this morning, and it was on making things fit your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance, right? There was a big component, it wasn't the whole topic of the chapter, but it was a big component of what you do, right? Or what I do, or what everybody should do, right? Just because I say it's a great strategy or somebody else, it doesn't mean you should trade it, right? Especially if you don't know the individual, be very careful when it comes to that. All right, lots of stuff happening. We got Inner Circle tonight, the 21st. That is today, right? Yes, all day. Dates are non-existent to me right now. Didn't wear a watch, didn't pay attention to dates, nothing last week and a half. Mastermind Quarterly, that is tomorrow on August 22nd. That is a very important date. Write that down. August 22nd is my birthday. All right, but yet tomorrow night we are still teaching a 2-hour quarterly mastermind training tomorrow evening. And that's where we go over our core strategy. So I know there's a bunch of you in here right now that are in Mastermind. Make sure that you are prepared for 2 hours tomorrow night. We're not 1 hour. We're going to have a great training tomorrow with what I've got planned. I know we've got Monster Market Moves coming up on the 23rd. I was working on that just a little bit earlier today. And then Trading You on the 31st. Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook are on the regular schedule. Tony's doing his last pattern whisperer tonight. Do not miss that training. I watched a little bit of one of his trainings while I was gone, the recording of it. And he did a phenomenal job there, guys. So make sure you check out what he's showing you in there. Become that expert at reading those chart patterns, and Tony can help you get there. And then back by popular demand, Mr. Dale Zamzo. We finally got him back again, August 29th, 30th, and 31st, 3 days in a row, noons and 8 p.m.s. He'll be going over protect, preserve, and win in uncertain times. He's going to show you some things that regardless of how far the market crashes, how you can protect your assets and not lose a penny if done right. Right, then power option plays, covered call, E-mini Vegas spreads are all on their regular schedule this week. Here's our followers page. Make sure you're tracking along with the things that we do, folks. We're getting a really good traction on our podcast right now, so the Stock Market Millionaire. So make sure you're checking that out. Sean and I are constantly, Sean records, I speak, right? But we're constantly doing new videos. We did, before I went away, we did 5 videos before I went away, some for podcasts, some for YouTube, and we are set to do another 3 to 4 tomorrow. So make sure that you're checking out the various social platforms that we're on there. All right, here's our Trading Boss Manifesto. this basically, to me, what it means to be a trading boss, right? What we strive to help you with to become that boss. You can go on our homepage. You can go on robertjroy.com. You can go on tradinglikeaboss.com. You can download a copy of this in all of its glory. You can download, and I say that in no cheek and tongue there was a lot of work put into this document. So, but you can download a copy of this for yourself, and you should have it. I read it every single day as part of my morning routine of what I do. It's my, I've always called it my success routine. I saw somebody else that had theirs called the GSD, right? Was what their daily routine was called, and their morning routine was called. And GSD is get shit done. Excuse my French, but just, you got to do it. I do more in the first 3 hours of getting, of my work day than the average person would do in an entire day, right? And it's all because of the processes that I've laid out for it, right? Part of it is making sure that I am focused on the right things. Let me just go ahead and turn that sucker down. Let's see. There we go. See, glad I lowered the volume. All right. Cool. Yeah. There you go, Susan. Oh, but grandson's birthday is nice, Brenda. Nice. Tripp said they did a session on habits and routines in mastermind group last week. There you go. So you can go back and watch that in the mastermind group. Right? You got pattern whisper coming up. Guys, make sure you sign up for this, enroll for this free class. It's the last one that Tony is doing. Okay. Where are we? We got a decent amount of people in here right now. Just out of curiosity, and so Lee went ahead and dropped that link in. So go ahead and click on that to get registered for it. But question for you. I wasn't around last week because of being out of town with vacation. So we asked Tony to jump in and fill in there. And I know he's done it once before as well recently. But how did Tony do? Did you guys like Tony? Did he do a good job? Were you happy with what he came up with and taught and trained on? Give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'm not going to call you out on it. Listen, if you didn't like it, I want to know, right? I don't think that's the case, but hey, if it is, it is. Did Tony do a good job? Yeah, lots of ones there. Brenda, I appreciate those. Right? He was great. There you go, Paula. All right, cool. Yeah, listen, the other choice was to cancel, right? And I really would rather not do that. I like to keep that momentum going. I think bringing a guest speaker in once in a while is not a bad thing as well. It gives you a little bit of a break from me, right? Okay, one last piece of housekeeping before I forget. We're going to make an offer right now to you for something that is not only is it free, there is no credit card for it. It is a premium product. You have to pay for it. Okay. But that's not what the case is going to be right now. And here's what I mean. Let me stop beating around the bush for it. Right. Yeah, gotta be. That's kind of where I'm going. So Amelia does an amazing job with Trade Watch Alerts. She really does. She is on top of that. She's got some great candidates that she pulls out each and every day. She presents her results each and every month. She does great. She crushes it inside of there, doing very small amount of contracts, right? Just really, really does a great job. What we're doing as a flash offer is we have right now, and this is a today only. So if you want to get registered for this, you do it right now. Don't message us overnight at midnight, 12:01 and say, I want to get in. No, the offer is gone. There's nothing you can do. Lee just dropped the link, and it is for 1 free week of Trade Watch Alerts. There is no credit card required. There's no anything. This is an opportunity for you to jump in and actually see what Amelia does. There's no risk. Even if you did nothing with it, which I hope that's not the case, because that's just stunada, okay? Duzzi in the head, okay? A little crazy if that's what you do with it. Nothing, right? But it is for the next upcoming week. You'll have access to everything in there, all the materials in the members area. You'll see all of the strategies, what she trades, so forth. It's all inside of there, but you have to click on that link today, and you have to go ahead and get registered today. Lee, let's go ahead and make sure that everybody that's registered here for Power Hour today, let's go ahead and make sure we have a quick little email. Just let Suzanne know. Go out today with that link in it, just in case somebody thought they clicked on it, didn't click on it. I meant to do it before we got out and we closed the room down. Make sure you guys register for it. It is going to be awesome. She's got some surprises planned too. All right. So, don't want to go there yet. Let's ask you first. There you go. Paula said, done. Yeah, I appreciate that, Paula. Just signed up. There you go, Brenda. Excellent. So, and this, of course, is only for new members. If you're already a TradeWatch TradeWatch Alerts member, this doesn't really apply to you. Perfect. There you go, Susan. Excellent, excellent. Everybody that's putting in it, you did it. I love it. It's that time for you to drop in your trades. What trades have you done? Drop them in the chat box right now. I want to see what you guys have done. Remember, this whole part of what we do right now, it's all about accountability. That's what it is. It's accountability. It's you putting it out to the universe that, see, this is what I'm doing. I'm not asking you to, I'm not checking you. I'm not asking for funded trades only. Funded, non-funded, I don't care. Right? If you did well on a trade and it was a non-funded trade, I could care less. You did the trade. That's all I care about. Most of you should probably be paper trading, non-funded trading anyway. If you're newer, you should be doing that. Those of you that have been doing this for a while, obviously you're trading, right? All right, let's see. Okay, I'm trying to read that, Brenda, without my glasses on, and I see L. I'm like, what the hell are we putting it in, like Spanish or something? El Zippo, got it. Nothing. Okay. Susan said option buys on the Qs. Susan, how did you do on the Qs? Stephanie said cover calls today. Good. So you probably don't have any premium on it yet. There you go, Will. I love it. You and me both, brother. We're on the same page. For Amazon. Let's see. I don't think my stop has been hit yet. My target is my stop, so it's all the same. Amazon 18%, Q's 22%, IWM as in Mary -8%. Will, is that the Hakanashi strategy you guys have come up with in Inner Circle that you've been working through? Let me just know that down below. There you go, John. You're the man. Wheel of Fortune, Roku, BRKB, N Square, naked puts on WW and KVUE. Cash flow, $1,400 today. That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Paula said small SPY profit got out too soon. It happens. Here's the thing. Again, in my book today, talking about this, the important component is not did I make a mistake, did I do something wrong, did I screw up, whatever it is, that it's going to happen. The bigger question, the most important piece, did you learn from it? Did you recognize what you did and commit to not doing that again? And I realized that the getting out too soon could have been nothing more than it looked like it was turning and I pulled the trigger to get out, or it bounced off my stop of a trailing stop and triggered, but are you learning from that? Do you make the trailing stop bigger the next time? Do you not watch the computer at all? That's probably the best one. That's when I do the best. Put the order in and walk away. Come back and see if it got filled on the way out, right? Did it hit a target? Did it hit a stop? This way I don't have to look at it or think about it because I'm usually my own worst enemy. Trip said, choppy morning with 3 super quick scalps on IWM, Qs, and SPY. 2 profits, 1 very small cost. Nice. 37%, Susan said on, yeah, I got that, Susan, on covered calls today. I love my covered calls, so I'm there. So Will said, yep, it was a bad entry and got out. All right, there you go. Jeff said, NVIDIA entered last week, closed 1 contract for plus $600. Nice. Nice. I love it. Absolutely love it. So Amelia's got some trades that she sends in on a Monday. If she did them, right? And this is from TradeWatch Alerts. If she did them, and these are from today. If she did not do any trades, she won't send anything in. She doesn't force it. You will not see a symbol on here that she did not actually send out to the universe of students that she has. So if we look, you can see all 821, 10:07 was the entry time. Where's my mouse? 10:07 was the entry time. That's in the green line there, right? Single, right? Single trade, buy to open 5 contracts of Qs. August 21st, that's today, 2023 weeklies. They shouldn't call them weeklies anymore. They should call them dailies now. And it was the 360 call. She bought it at 280. Okay. They were at 280. And I don't know what's going on here. It says call. Buy to open. I don't know what happened here. So it looks like this one went against her. Not by much. Not 9 cents and then 15 cents, 25 cents in there. So to close. did I? 208. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, guys. Donald's saying it was 208, not 280. Yeah, Chip said she bought a 208, not 280. Okay, so 208, not 280. So, guys, she's showing you where she got in the trade. It went up. She's showing you where she got out of the trade. So something's wrong on my end somewhere. But you can see on the chart, 208 moved up. She sold at 271. 3 contracts, she scaled out, and the last 2 she sold at 255. So overall, nice move on that for a 27% rate of return there. All right, and then she's got a quick 50-cent grab, right? This is on AMAT, right? Buy to open today. She bought at 875 these calls, and you could see where it broke out of her support line, right? Retested and bounced. She took that entry. Got her quick 50 cents, 875, 925. That happened in 952, 0212, 20 minutes, just a little over 20 minutes and 21 seconds, 2021. Yeah, so Susan said exactly my strategy. There you go. There you go. I love it. Absolutely love it. So Amelia did a great job with these today, guys. This is Trade Watch Alerts, right? This is not in here because of this offer. When you go back to any power hour, that we do, if she had a trade go off that day, and you could see them, they all are put on Twitter every day. You go back to power hours, you go back to Twitter, you'll see all the trades that she puts out. Trade du jour, every day a trade goes up there, and of course all her trades are listed in her members area. So let's see, Lee dropped Lee dropped in that link for the free week, folks, again, so take advantage of it. I mean, really just take advantage of it. Okay. So Will put in there that he did a trade on Amazon today. I did a trade on Amazon today as well. So let's go take a look-see at Amazon and see what the heck is going on. So we need to see it from a daily chart perspective first. All right. So here's Amazon. All right. Let me okay. So 134.54, I have a resistance in there. Well, if we take today off of the screen, where were we? We get rid of today's candle, we're in a neutral bias. We're below the 8 and 21, above the 55. We're in a neutral bias. What does that mean? If I have a clear and a concise entry in either direction, I can take the trade. So you can see where we closed yesterday, right? Today, and I'm just going to bring it forward now. Today, we gapped up slightly and we ran higher. As we ran up, I'm looking at that failure off the 134.54 level. If it hits and fails, rolls over, I'm going to take a bearish entry. All right. So now that I went through the descriptive of it, let's go look at the intraday chart, 5-minute chart. We'll see if we've got to go to a 1, but we'll go to a 5 to start. Always a 5, right? And what happened? Man, we rocked. We ran up. We pushed right up into here. We gapped up. We stretched higher and we failed off of that level. Okay. There's the entry in the trade. Okay. Well, what happened? We broke back above that 134.54 level and we stretched up to the highest highs of the day. So when I look back at my Omega charts, you will see this additional fib line that I drew in there. Now you can do some of this stuff on TOS and or on TradeStation. I can talk very intelligently on TradeStation. You could draw a new fib on there and you could change the levels around. It's way too much work. You know, on Omega charts, we have like 8 or 9 of the exact same fib tools that you modify for ones that you use all the time. I have 4 of them that I use regularly, 4 different fib tools, right? This is just one of them. So my 25 percentile line up in here, 25% of the distance of these 2 fib lines is where my stop is. We didn't quite get there. I had it at 135.25. We got up to a high of 135.19. So this is where walking away and not being present in the trade comes in crucial, because had I been there, there's a very good probability I would have pulled the trigger and said, you know what, it's going against me, let me just get out. And then I would have been kicking myself along the way for getting out as quickly as I did. Okay, way too soon. Because what happened after that? It failed. Right? And it failed nicely. I may actually be stopped out right now. I don't know. I can't go back and look, but for now, you'll get the gist of where I'm going with this. So we continued that push down and we bought 136 puts were about 280. Let's see what they are right now. 136s. 136 puts right now are trading at 335. They were about 370, 75, 80. It was about $1 up right before class started today. Okay. So overall, very pleased with how the move was. Again, I might have been stopped out now as we broke above the moving averages. It probably triggered my trail. Excuse me, in there. Right, but overall, nice setup. Now, that was the only one that I got off today. Here's the part of the why. Number one, it's Monday. It's always crazy. Number two, it's Monday, the day after vacation is over. So I did everything I could to not jump into too much stuff during the, between Friday with my wife's birthday on Friday, and just really still on vacation. We just got back late Thursday night. But on top of that, it was somewhere between 600 and 700 emails in my email box, in my inbox, for my personal and my business. So just trying to make sure there's not something in there like, oh, you have a bill that's due, which I did, right? Stuff like that, so I don't miss out on those types of things, right? Yeah, so Trader Will said on his, he was trading between pivots, scaled out half it at the fibit and the last on the pivot line. Nice. Well, good job. Good job. Great intraday setups, all stuff they do inside of Inner Circle, folks. Really excited about the path that trading room takes each and every day in Inner Circle there. All right. So great structure, great setup overall. Very happy, very pleased with today's trade. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about the S&P 500 because it ain't look pretty. And I mean, I've gotten some of those panic emails from some of those that are in Inner Circle and or mastermind group of, the world's coming to an end, right? And maybe it is, but we're prepared if it does, okay? So from the highest high we put in there, let's see, what's my date on that one? 27th of July, okay? That was our recent swing high, highest high we had there, not swing high, but highest high we had. We failed, got a gap down, we went sideways, small down drift, quick bounce off of the zero line with one line, and we just collapsed off of that. Today we're bounced up a little bit. We're up about right now, yeah, it's today $4.70, 60 cents, somewhere around there. So we've got a slight gain in there today. We are in a bearish bias. Now we are not in a true bearish bias. Understand, bearish means you're down below price. That's it, price, right hand down here, wiggling one. Price is below all three moving averages. That makes it bearish. But the order the three moving averages are in may not necessarily be aligned properly. If they were for bearish, it should be the 8 on the top, which is pink. It would be the green in the middle, which is the 21, and brown on the bottom, which is, my bad, the other way around. The 8 would be on the bottom, the green would be in the middle, and the brown would be on top. I was giving you bullish, okay? That would make it a true bearish bias. We don't have true bearish here. We have bearish. That automatically tells me if I'm taking a directional trade, I can only do an aggressive trade, meaning less contracts. Okay, if I took a bearish trade here, it would have to be aggressive. I would not do more than 4. You've got to determine aggressive and non-aggressive for you and your trading account. Okay, that might mean where you normally trade 5 contracts, excuse me, maybe 1 or 2 is your aggressive trade. I still want to participate, but I don't want to take a lot of risk in the trade. I'm okay if it goes against me, right? But remember this, you have to be okay if it goes against you no matter what the trade is. There's no such thing as a guaranteed winner. Everyone that I was like, oh my God, this is going to buy me a new house, was usually the ones that went against me. Including a $50,000 Amazon profit overnight turned into a $12,000 Amazon loss. Okay? Yeah, it's going to be a home run. I'm kid you not, I was counting my chickens. I was buying the house, the new boat. I had it all, right? And 9:30 in 1 second, boom. Yeah, right there, order filled. Was not fun, right? All the emotions came back of, why did I hold this overnight? I knew not to. I knew I should have just gotten out, taken the profit yesterday. All right, so overall, when we look at a daily chart, we are in a bearish bias. Now, I want to go and bring this in a little bit so you can see what's happening here. Now, we've been out of the limelight. We've been out of conversation of this dark black line that's down here. If I put my mouse over it, you can see it's the 4181. That is a Fibonacci line. If you do not have that on your S&P 500 chart, only on the S&P, by the way, right? Snap that line on there, right? That is a critical level that we're looking at for the S&P 500, okay? What does that mean? That is it's from a Fibonacci number series, which comes from adding 0 plus 1, and then 1 plus 1, and 1 plus 2, and 2 plus 3, 3 plus 5, 5 plus 8. You run that number series, that rabbit counting exercise. You might have learned it in school, in grammar school. And you keep doing that, and you wind up with 4181, right? Which is the one that fits on the S&P 500. That level is a critical level that most individuals know nothing about. They don't even know it exists, period. Just don't know it exists, right? The key here is being able to see it when the rest of the world doesn't, and then how do I manage what happens off of there? We broke to the upside, we bounced. Yep, we got a failure in there. That was a fake breakout. We did it one more time, we retested, we bounced, and that was a catalyst from 4181 up to 4600 off of that level, okay? Do I think we're going to come back and retest? I think we can. Here's the issue. There's too much government garbage. And yeah, I like the phraseology. GG, government garbage, okay? Too much junk, right, in the trunk with the damn government, all right? Who's worried about this? Who's fighting for that? Did I get the pond in my neighborhood because you wanted to, do whatever you wanted to do federal government wise, right? Too many politicians focus on what's important to them and not what's important to everybody, right? So everything that's happening now of the Fed, the Fed's going to talk on, there's going to be some, where they're testifying something this Friday. I'm still a little bit out of it, guys, with getting back into the swing of it. But they've got a meeting on Friday. There's concerns there. We saw the announcement last week. We don't know if we're out of the woods just yet. There's still fear of recession. There are others that are coming out and saying there is no recession coming. We had it already. We look at an inflation rate, and somebody in their infinite wisdom believes that where we are in inflation rate now is really good and the government's doing a great job. Remember, it was the government that got us to the high inflation rate. This wasn't Russia. This wasn't COVID. This was none of it. Okay, that's not what it is. It's absolutely not what it is. Okay, there's plenty of ways out of this. And anything that's ever happened where, don't tell me it's China's fault. Okay, you can't tell me that. Oh, China's producing all this stuff over there, and now we can't get it. And it's no, it's not China's fault. The government should have stepped in way before if that was a concern of, do we really want to make our most valuable tech chips, microchips in China, and give access to that technology there? And I'm not saying anything is or is not happening, but if that's the fear and that's the worry and that's the blame right now, then why are we going back and saying, oh, it's their fault? Oh, why don't you stand up and say, you know what? I never should have voted that way. And listen, when I first started trading, the company that I learned from, the owner of the company was a great trader. He really was, right? But he had done some things in his life that weren't maybe the most scrupulous. With the access to the internet now, you could find all that where back then you could not. So you can go back and you can find every speech every politician's ever done publicly, and you can find something about what they said on that speech, okay? In there of, well, you voted for this, you didn't vote for that, and so forth. So we need to stop blaming others for that. But the problem is we don't have a true answer as to where we're going because of all of this. There's all of the fight and the hype and the hoopla, what's going on with the presidential election, who's in there, DeSantis this weekend I saw something bad, he'll never recover from this. And then Trump's going to jail, and oh, the Georgia prosecutor is under arrest now, and whatever, okay? And then what's going on with Biden? Is he mentally capable? Was it his drugs in the White House, his son's drugs in the White House? Did we really have drugs in the White House? I don't know. Problem is, all of these things are causing chaos in the market right now. The biggest part of it is the uncertainty of where the market goes. By the way, if you guys are reading opinions or writing opinions in, I'll read them, but I'm just not reading them out loud, okay? I'm not giving an opinion here. I'm not saying one is good, one is bad. My opinion is this is what's causing it to happen. All of this slide that's taking place right now, I think we were overbuilt on the upside. This slide is the fears. Every time we start getting closer, right? China just dropped their rates by 15 basis points, 0.15, right? 15 basis points. They dropped their rates. Why? Was it really warranted for dropping the rates? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't see it yet. I don't think our rates should drop. There's talk now that before the presidential election, before the key components of it, before early next year, mid next year, the latest, we'll be back at 5% or less on interest rates. If you could raise it a few months ago and drop it that far down and go, 300 basis points, 8% down to 5%, no, something's off, right? So or whatever it is, right? 8% is the interest rate. But if you could drop all those basis points there, something's off. Why did it happen the way that it did, right? So we've got a lot of concern out there of what's going on. Bigger picture helps us to see some of this. So if we go back and look at a weekly chart, you can see that we had a very strong S&P for multiple weeks, last 30 weeks or so, 25 weeks, strong, right? 2 weeks ago, can't really count this week, but last week, the full week, the week before, we just broke the ice. Folks, I talk about chipping away at the ice all the time. If you're not using that in your mindset when you're looking at charts, I think you're making a mistake, right? I talk about chipping away at the ice. We kind of broke a little hole in it right here. And the next week we gapped down, we stretched up and said, bye-bye. I love the movie Hocus Pocus, okay? We watch it every year around Halloween time. All of us sit down, my oldest comes over, we just make some popcorn and we watch. It is the Halloween movie, right? No more The Great Pumpkin Patch with Charlie Brown. You can't find that usually around. But we love the movie. And at the very end of the movie, one of the sisters, not the boss, not the singer, the other one, right? She was in Sister Act. I don't know her name. If you know it, you're welcome to drop it in. And she's on a vacuum cleaner, and the sun is rising up, and they're holding the cord back on the vacuum cleaner. She's trying to go, and all of a sudden they let her go, and she goes, bye-bye, and boom, she explodes, right? Bye-bye. That's what this chipping the ice does, folks. Does it happen all the time? No, but it's a situational awareness. I need to know if I was in on this candle right here, this black candle that broke through my uptrend line. If I was in position number 1 in the chair, meaning I am back here, 3 in the chair, 1 in the chair, sorry. But I'm position 1 in the chair and I'm doing nothing. And I see that breakthrough and this is my reaction to it. And then next week it breaks down even more, retests and fails. And I'm back here. I am making a mistake. My situational awareness should have been, we chipped away at the ice. Are we looking for an opportunity? And when the opportunity presented itself, that it gapped down, stretched up, and failed, that should have been an entry into the trade, into a trade. Could have been on SPY. It could have been looking at other candidates that the S&P 500 affects. Either way, any way you slice it, this was a great place to be had you caught it. We look at a monthly chart, and this is the monthly. Remember, weekly, 4 weeks, right? Well, the last 2 weeks plus today is when we started breaking through. So this month, the month of August, is our breakthrough. We had a long-standing bearish pattern there. We went sideways for 5 or 6 months. We started to climb for 3 or 4 months, and now we're chipping away at the ice, okay? And as we look, monthly chart, you know what this black line is? 41.81. We ain't that far away from a monthly standpoint, are we? We actually were 2 months ago right there. 2 months ago, we're right at that point, right? So can we make it back there? Yes, certainly believe we can. Is it today or tomorrow, this week, this month? I can't answer that question. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come to my job every day. My job is trading. I'm going to come to my job every day, and I'm going to analyze what's going on. And I'm going to make a conscious decision verbally out loud, not because of the universe, because when I speak it out loud, instead of just reading it with my eyes, I've seen it first with my eyes, I've spoken it with my mouth, and I've heard it with my ears. I now put 3 senses, and you've heard me say this before, many of you. If you're Italian, I'm half Italian. I'm actually 68% Italian, right? Oh, goodness, I just realized that's a fib number. 0.618. No, 618. Okay, so yeah, well, it's close enough, all right? But I'm about 68% Italian. I'll check the exact number according to our DNA test, right? I use my hands to talk, if any of you have noticed, right? If I sat on my hands, I'm mute. I can't speak a thing, all right? So there's multiple senses happening there to make you understand it, right? To hear it out. Let's see. Kevin said, did you hear this morning that there's a 200 plus cargo ship bottleneck up on the Panama Canal that will disrupt the supply chain again. I have not. It doesn't surprise me. There are a couple different things going on, like that are causing it. Are we going to see some of that supply chain stuff? Yes, for multiple reasons, right? We still can't get the workers. We still can't get people to work. We just can't, right? School bus drivers, nationwide problem, right? Multiple states have had to cancel classes and everything because they can't get bus drivers to come in, right? They're offering incentives, they're offering bonuses, they're paying higher rates. One state was offering $1,400 sign-on bonus just for saying, yes, I'll take the job. They're handing you a check for $1,400, right? Let's see. Keats on 50% Italian. So my mom is Italian, my dad is French Canadian. Okay. And when I met my mother-in-law for the very first time, my wife and I were dating for a couple of months, but she didn't want to bring me home, just very strict family, right? We got to make sure that, you're a guy that I really like and things are working out. And so I go over there and I introduce myself, hi, my name is Rob. Very nice to meet you. And I was dressed very nice. I brought flowers, bottle of wine. Just going over for a Sunday dinner. And my mother-in-law said to me, oh, you're Italian? I said, well, my mom is Italian. My dad is French Canadian. So I'm half. Oh, okay. A family member came over, right? The boyfriend's here. A family member came over after dinner for coffee. And the aunt, my wife's aunt, says to me, you Italian? My mother-in-law goes, no, he's French. Wait, I said, I'm half Italian. I'm half French Canadian, but no, I'm not Italian. I'm French. You are not Italian if you're not all Italian, right? Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Yeah, I got you, Stephanie. No question. Let's see. Too little water in the canal. Well, that'd be interesting, Les, if that's what it was. Yeah, I figured it out. Thanks, Les. Let's see. Linda said, big problem is not enough air traffic controllers. There's so many problems like that we deal with. If you've traveled lately, you don't know. Historic drought caused the ship jam up. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, air traffic control. We flew back on Thursday. We had a Thursday flight back into New York. I think it was about 11 o'clock, noon. We were a little bit delayed, not a problem. A couple hours, not a big deal, right? We were in the Sky Club. We sat there for hours. Good food, good drink, piece of cake, right? Comfortable to sit there. One of the family that we went down there and to Florida and spent a lot of time with, friends of ours. The wife was flying back for something with the daughter with her wedding. She had to be at something on Friday morning, and she was on JetBlue. We fly Delta. We only fly Delta. And her flight was delayed. They got to 11 o'clock. They got on the plane and they said, oh, we're sorry. The pilot ran out of hours. Send them back. The delay was an equipment problem, and they were waiting for another plane to come in that was not going to go anywhere else after that they could use because JetBlue didn't have spare equipment there in Orlando. Delta, they've got them all over the place. And if they don't, they've got plenty of pilots around. And if they don't, the next flight in from Atlanta, which will be coming every hour to Orlando, will have the port on it to get you back. So air traffic controllers is just, there's so much concern right now of all jobs, right? Trying to fill those positions is crazy. All right. Cool. Okay. So, every week we send out an email on Monday that says, hey, come on to a Power Hour. Sorry. Come on to Power Hour. And here's the topic that Rob's going to be teaching on. Right. And I said, you know what? I don't want to pick a topic this week. It's going to be a surprise. It wasn't an announced topic. So we've got more people without a topic than we normally have with a topic right now. Okay. Go figure. Okay. Go figure. So when I pick a topic, it's usually I pick it on a Wednesday of what I'm going to teach. So I don't always get to pick something that is relevant to what's happening today because it's picked a couple days in advance. Right. This way, if you have an interest, it kind of brings you into the class for the day. So I always pick it, though. No one else comes up with the idea. I'm the one that always picks it. I would venture to say that there are some things that some of you would love for me to spend the next 5 to 10 minutes and explain but have never been asked, what is it that you want Rob to teach on today? So I'm asking right now, what is it you want me to teach on today? What topic should I spend the next few minutes on to go over to help you out? Drop them in. I'll give you the next minute or so to put them in there. Put abbreviations, MKT for market. I don't need full sentences. I don't need your English to be purdy, right? None of that. You know, I called my writer and said, hey, I'm writing my book and I'm writing in, I see it that some of it is in first person, some is in second person. I talk about me, I talk about you, I talk about traders. Said, how should it be? And he goes, Rob, you're writing it exactly how you should. That's how you talk. Just leave it in your voice. So put it in your voice. What is it that you want me to talk about or teach on today? Oh, there you go, Will. Nice. Hey, Bill, how you doing? All right. So I got a couple of choices here so far. So, all right. I think, you know, Stephanie had a one that I think will fit a lot of individuals. Okay. So I am going to share with you a technique right now for setting up stops and targets. All right. It will require some work from you to have some knowledge and or experience with Fibonacci. It's just bottom line, folks. If you're here, you're not surprised at me saying you need to learn fibs. You're not sitting there going, really? Is he actually going to tell me I need to learn that? You know, if you're here, right? If you spend any amount of time with me, that's the thing, right? That is it. That is where I hang my hat. Okay. So we're going to talk about how we set stops and targets on traditional buying call, buying put positions. And we're only going to talk about one of them. We're not going to do both. Right? Let's see. We're going to just talk about one position. So right now we are in at a switchback on the S&P 500, which means we're kind of sitting in the middle. Okay. So let's see. Let me go through a couple of candidates. Apple was okay. We could do an Apple. Let's not go over there just now. Let's not do that. I'm really not going to have much as far as bullish right now. It's just not there. So bear with me a second. Well, I think Costco gets expensive for some, so that'll freak people out a little bit. So let's not use a Costco. Man, I missed this one today, huh? Holy mackerel, what a great freaking setup on Home Depot. Ranked number one. It was already in a neutral bias. Well, it was in a bullish neutral bias. It opened in a neutral bias today. Ran up, felt, wow, this was a great setup. You know what? Let's do Home Depot. It's kind of, you know, Costco's $500, Home Depot's $300, Amazon's $100. Let's do a Home Depot as I mean, Apple was 100 and change as our example for today. All right. So very first thing is you need a fib, right? You need to have a Fibonacci. All right. And here we have a Fibonacci drawn on Home Depot. I like the fib. There's nothing wrong with it. It goes back to January, which means we're about 8 months old. So we're at a point of it might be time to look for a new fib, but there's no forced requirement of you hit 8 months, you have to do it. 8 to 10 months, it starts getting old. Okay. But I've got some that go a little bit longer than that. I'm not a fan of them, but if there's no place to draw, there's no place to draw. Okay. So I need to have enough distance between my 50 and my 618. That requires a bare minimum of me of $3. I really prefer 4, but at least $3 between my 50 and 618. Here I've got 311, 318. That's 7. We are golden there. All right. So there's enough room on my fibs. Well, now that we've seen the entire fib, I really want to bring this in. And I want to bring this in, and we're going to talk about today's setup, right? With what happened in there. All right. So PK, let me see if I can't tie that in. Okay, yeah, maybe a different question, PK, because of the switchback component of the clear and concise entry. But I am always looking for a clear and concise entry. And that's where I thought you might be going with it, PK. Clear and concise. I have and really it is backwards. It just doesn't sound as cool as concise and clear. Concise is getting in at the right place. Clear is the path to my support or resistance. In this case, to my support level. Do I have a clear path between where I'm entering the trade and where support is without having a moving average in here, a 100-point level in here, another indicator like a Bollinger Band, whatever you're working with is in your way. I want to make sure that's not the case. Ever. I don't want that as the case. So here's what we're going to do. By the way, those of you, if I didn't pick your topic, here's what I will do. If you send an email to support, Lee is in here with us now. Lee, if you get some emails on this, compile them, send them to Suzanne, and we'll look at those as potentials for our next couple of trainings that we do for Power Hour as the potential topics that we discussed. Listen, as long as they're good topics, right? It can't be something such as explain to me the aerodynamics component of fusion based on the stock running. I can't deal with that stuff, right? Sorry, just, can you give me clear and concise entry on this? Can you go over switchback? Can you send those in and we'll look at those as potentials, okay? So when I look at a trade, very first thing, is the stock at a clear level? Well, if I looked at this, which I did over the weekend, this would have been in a bullish neutral bias. It's below the 8, above the 21. That's important, okay? That's number one. UN is how we write it. So it's bullish neutral, and it's a rank of 1. What does that mean? Well, the moving average, the 8 or the 21, we do not use the 55 for this. The 8 or the 21 are in a very tight distance from each other. Right, we are right there. Right, we are in a 1. Well, now what? Okay. So let me bring this back again so you can see it. So now I'm looking, because it's closed right at the fib line. So I needed to move down, which it did. It gapped and then retest that 327.29. Doesn't have to get right there, but it's got to move up into it, right? Towards that level. So 326 and a quarter, 326 and a half, somewhere in there, 326.75, somewhere it moves back up and fails. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not just looking, can it just go straight down and you take it? If you're going to do that, I would probably do it as an aggressive entry. I don't normally, I want the retest. Okay, that's just me. But now once I do that, and let me see, who is that? Let's see. Okay, so Stephanie had that. Stephanie is one that asked this question, okay? So Stephanie, once I do that, the first thing that I have to focus on is the target, not the stop. Never, ever, ever make the stop what's important to you first. Because now you're worried about running scared. Stop the running scared, go after the target first, put the stop second. You still need it. You still need to have a plan for it. Just don't make it first. Make it the last thing that you do. All right? So what am I going to do? Very simply, when I talked about an Omega charts, there is a plethora of drawing tools for multiple fib tools. But on the one that I use, which are the Fibonacci support and resistance tools, I have a tool that I have created that I put these 4 lines in there, right? 87, 0.87, 0.75, 0.25, and 0.13, right? We primarily use, for our conversation here, we will use the 75 and the 25, not the 87 or the 13. That is a more advanced component when you get into inner circle, where we really dig into that as a higher level confirmation than the 25 and 75, all right? So what I'm going to do then, Stephanie, it doesn't matter the direction. That's a pretty cool thing. I'm going to draw that, use that tool and draw that in here. Okay? So what is that telling me? Well, first off, I'm going to get rid of a couple of lines. Delete line. All right, so 13.75. Okay. So the only line left is the 25. Okay? That 25 is my target. That is the target that I am setting up. Now, I didn't check Fibbits on this. I haven't looked at the charts really in a week. So I should have checked Fibbit first. 318, call it 319 to 327. That's 8 points. You've got a Fibbit of 10. We don't need to split this level in half. The lines that I drew were fine. If I had to put a Fibbit in there, I would have need to use that Fibbit line to draw off of. Okay? That's number one. So I now have a target in there. I know exactly where the target is. The way my order is going to be set up and structured is when I am placing a trade, and I set a stop up. I don't set stops normally at whole numbers. I don't talk a lot about this. I don't set them at whole numbers. I don't set it at $3 for the option. I don't set it at $3.25. I'll set it at $3.19, $2.97, $3.04. I don't normally set right at a whole number on a stop because I don't want the market maker just fishing, saying, well, I think that down 10 feet below the surface, there's going to be some fish. So let me drop my hook down 10 feet and see what I catch. Or the better way to say it is, when you have an option and you put your stop at $3, let's go ahead and just change the price of the option to $3 and see if we trigger some stops, right? I don't want that to happen, right? So I use an off or an odd or uneven number. I don't use whole numbers, okay? Whole round numbers that are like 25 cents, 50 cents, dollar, okay? Well, if it happens there, I'm okay with it happening on my target. So I'm going to round my target, and I'm normally going to round it in my direction a little bit, okay? So what I'm looking at here is I've got 320.66. So 320.75 is probably where my target's going to be. So I'm going to, wrong one. So I'm going to target of 320.75. Now, could you make it higher if you wanted to? Yeah, of course you could. I'm not arguing with you about it or anything, right? It's just do what you got to do. But right about 320.75, okay? So let me stop for a second. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Are you guys okay so far with what we're doing as far as target goes? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Nice. Okay, good. Good. If you're finding this helpful, give me a comment other than a 1 or a 2 of what is happening or what it's doing for you and so forth. Let me see it. I'd love to be able to see what this is doing for you guys, okay, and gals. So that's number 1. We got our target in place. Now and only now we're going to focus on the stop. I'm going to grab the exact same drawing tool. I'm going to draw the exact same thing above my fib line. Okay. I am going to go ahead and I am going to delete lines in here that I do not need. All right. Thanks, Trip. So my stop is going to be up here. At what price, though? Okay. You can see I've got 329.04 is my level. So well, let me explain why first. What you may not be able to see if I can move it. Okay, I'll move it where it's easier to visualize to see it. What you'll see there is that's at 75. So this distance right now is actually 25%. Let me get a drawing tool. It is 25% of the distance of these two lines. I'm looking for 25 percentile. Okay, that's what this is right in here. 25% of the whole distance. All right, my stop is going to be right around that level. So what does that mean? How does that play out? What are we doing with it? Okay, so I'm going to set my stop somewhere at, well, I could set it at 329, right? Even, but where's the problem with that? Now I'm at that whole number where the market maker fishes for it. So I need to go just a little bit higher above that. Let me just move this over a little bit. I need to go a little bit higher above that to get out of that realm of getting in trouble. Okay. So I'm going to set that at 329.15. I'm not going to set it at 329.25, right? If you don't like the whole numbers at the 15, you could do 17, right? But I want to be somewhere up above that level. Okay. And that stop, what have I just done? Well, if I'm looking for 75%, now this is not a 1-to-1 ratio. It is not the exact same distance between the 618 and between these two fib lines, let's say, and the next two fib lines. It may very well be here, but it's not always going to be the case. this distance may not be the same as this distance. Okay. So based on that, you can't use what I'm saying as gospel, as like the ground you walk on type stuff. But you have to understand, if I am looking at 75% profit and 25% risk, now the risk is a little bit greater than that because I'm getting in down here. But you see why the clear and concise entry is so important? If you get in a concise place, you've minimized your risk to as small as it possibly can be. If I wait until we're down here somewhere to get in, my stop is still here. If I don't get in until down here, my stop is still here. You don't change stop. The stop is the stop, it's the stop. It's all right there. Every bit of this is right in front of you, right? The key here is finding the right entry point and not fudging the deal. Meaning, well, really shouldn't have taken it, but I will, right? That's not what we're looking for, okay? All right, so 1 for yes, 2 for no. Does the stop component make sense? All right, and I'm trying to read y'all messages of, except for Trips. I'm not going to read Trips' message as to why he likes it. He's just being a wise guy. So Stephanie said, okay, so always blank at 25, yes. Though I thought the ATR might come into play as well. So Stephanie, now you take it to the next level where you look at ATR, right? Which we're really not going to go into because that is really much higher level. Right now, I just want to make sure that everybody's in a place that they can have a pattern. And what you'll notice, Stephanie, is if you trade this with a non-funded account first, which everybody should, you trade this with a non-funded account, you're going to see what works and doesn't work, where certain stocks you trade, maybe they're very low movement stocks, and this is too big of a distance for you because this particular stock, even though it only moves 80 cents a day, had made a dramatic move from bottom to top because of news that came out about it. But now the news is over. So the reaction of the news may not really reflect how we set our stops, where ATR may have to come into play. All right. So hopefully that answers it. Daniel said, looking for targets and setting stops before the trade is made has helped me a bunch. We do this in the trading room. Daniel's in our inner circle. He's talking about in the morning. We do 3 days a week, 2 hours each of those 3 days. We've got a live trading room with being hosted by Amelia. Trip is in there as well. And then whoever can make it for inner circle is in there. But he said the improvements on my trades is getting better. And it's all because of choosing the targets and choosing the stops in advance. Daniel, I absolutely love it. Appreciate the feedback. Let's see. I got a lot of very helpfuls, a lot of ones, which was great. Let's see. Les said your stop on the stock price. Do you put an alert and then whatever the option price is, you get out? So you can set up an order, Les, depending on the broker. I know you can do it on TradeStation. I'm fairly confident you can do it on TOS as well. You cannot, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, unless they fixed it or changed it. You cannot do it in Tastyworks yet. They keep saying they're going to add it. I don't know if they have. I've not gone back to check. But you could set this up where you could say, if the stock gets to 329, get me out of the option at market. Trip said you can do it on TOS. Yeah, I thought you could. I appreciate that, Trip. Right? But I'm not sure we can do it on Tastyworks. So you can set it up to take you out on that. And then the other thing is, if this is a day trade, here's the secret, right? At the end of the day, you want a message, an exit in there that says, if I don't get taken out by the stop or target, and you don't want to hold it overnight, get me out at 3:45 p.m. Eastern, 3:52 p.m. Eastern, whatever time you want to put in there, right? You could set a time stop to take you out of that trade. Yeah, Bill said he hasn't checked lately, but he doesn't think that's in Tasty. Brenda said there's an OCO on TOS. Okay, there you go, Les. Good. You're welcome, Les. Trader Will said, nice to see this in such a concise explanation. Cool. I appreciate that, Will, very much. Barry said, could you slide left again so we could see the fibs? Oh, yeah, sure, Barry. Absolutely. So they start on Feb 2nd on the high, and they end on March 14th at the low. Let's see. There you go, Jennifer. Good. Excellent. And folks, I ran you right to the end of the day with this exercise today. But let me ask you this. did you like that I chose a topic from you? Not all the time. I don't want to do this all the time, but that I chose a topic from you versus me coming in here and saying, this is what we're doing today. Did you like that as an option? Okay, good. A lot of ones, a lot of yeses. So if you have a topic like that you want, go ahead and send that in to an email at support, and we'll get them on a list, and we'll work off of that list a little bit and come up with some topics as well, where I plan some things in advance. This is kind of hit me with it. Just go. Left jab, right jab. I'll take it, whatever it is, right? Not a problem. Now, one last thing before we wrap up. Lee, please drop in the link to Amelia's Trade Watch Alerts again. Folks, do not leave here without clicking on this link. Getting registered, new subscribers only, no credit card required, 1 free week of the training. Go in and watch every single training she's got in there for all the videos, all the documentation on how she trades, everything she does. Go ahead and check that out, folks. Do not miss on that. Yeah, Trader Will said this is like a mini coach's trading coach's playbook. There you go. There you go. Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Go over to tradinglikeaboss.com, everybody, to pick up all the free resources that we've got there. All right, take care, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Oh, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. All right, everybody. Bye for now.